Hello everybody and welcome back to another part of I said Pokemon. Well, I almost did. Still, welcome to another part of Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Echoes of Time. In the last part, it wasn't recording the game audio. Gosh darn it. But now it is. And we are exploring deeper within the forest. O ye who has the crystal power, place your hands to open the way. Yes, we have been given the crystal power. The crystal core gave us power. And we will learn the truth about everything once we clear this part of the stage. So let us proceed onwards. I don't need the materials anymore. So you won't see me needlessly picking up stuff. Oh, this is a cool mechanic that they're going to introduce. Try casting magic on me. I can power up your spells and fire them in 4 directions. Yeah, that's gonna come in handy. I'll show it to you guys right here, right now. The game wanted us to use it to test it out on how useful it can be against the enemies that aren't resistant to it. The orbs are another thing. I will be picking up those. We need to touch every one of those squares we see. Introducing one of the annoying enemies in the game. These gosh darn bees. They were already introduced in the game, but hey, they're going to be a lot annoying. Same goes for those things too, right there. Don't blow up, don't blow up, don't blow up. Those bees will poison you a lot. That's what I mean by very annoying. Alright, we need to proceed onward, but where to? There's 2 areas that we can go to. If you see the bee's nest, get rid of it. Well, there's the boss room right there. We need the key. We have to go this way, but that's closed off. So let's assume the obvious and defeat all the enemies in this area. Like this last bee right over here. Get over here. Get over here. Get over here. Alright, it's not opening. Alright, where do we go now? I think we should head back. Or unless I'm missing an enemy. let's head back. And yeah, if something doesn't appear to you the first time, always go back. Another combat tip: don't always use the same spell twice, because, well, they'll guard it. They'll guard against it. And a great way to break an enemy's guard is to cast a different spell. Alright, we need this. Do we really need this? I do not know. Alright, that opened up, and that's where we need to go. Wait for this to go on before us, and let's go. And there's the key. Thank you, and let's go. Alright, now we're gonna go fight a boss. Let's go. You again. Someone got upgraded. You might have got upgraded, but we got stronger. Oh well, Genma died. Let me revive the guy. And victory is ours. Hey, of course I'm going to pick up all the spoils of the boss battle victory. Spam that square button. Spam, 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 spam. Yeah, it's just fun doing that. Charlotta. What happened here? This looks just like...
One day, a long time ago, something happened that made the crystals start disappearing from the world. One by one they vanished. People began fighting each other to control the few that remained. Our village was one of many that were destroyed in the war. This is where we used to live, all those many years ago. Maybe it looks a little familiar? It's all in ruins now, but at one time, it was just like the other village, the one we built especially for you. I remember the day the world turned upside down. The crystals were disappearing one by one. Chaos and fear reigned, but then, in the middle of everything, that crystal appeared here in our forest. When the end came, it came quickly. We had no chance. It was him, leading his army of weird creatures. As soon as they found our village, they attacked. They could have just asked for it. We would have given it up without a fight. We fought back as well as we could, but we were no soldiers. What did we know about war? They razed our village to the ground. Granddad! Elena!
What location? You promised! You said it wouldn't come to me!
Except that it wasn't lifeless. The villagers are still here, even now. You can see them, can't you? You see, when that crystal core appeared, I was transformed. I became immortal, but that's not all. I was given the power to create crystals.
We have learnt the truth. Welcome back, Snivy. I never dreamed this would happen. When that crystal core got sucked into you, I didn't know what was happening. But because of that, you can see me and everyone again. Snivy, the power of the core is inside of you now. Me and the other villagers, we all died way back then. But I'm just happy that I can talk to you like before. We're your family, Snivy. Not just me, but everyone in the village. You know, I think from the very beginning that crystal core was meant for you. Do you understand what it is? When the crystal core started coming back together again, what exactly did you see? My guess is that the answers lie there. Even though all the other crystals in the world disappeared, that one kept sparkling. It stood there in the forest for centuries and centuries, never changing, never growing dull. That's how powerful the crystal core is. the world's last remaining crystal. I knew it even back then when the crystal core first appeared. Everyone did. That's why we stayed in this forest for all those centuries. We did it for Charlotta. She was so lonely. You can imagine how happy we were when you came along. It's an old story now. I hardly believe in myself anymore. Back then, the whole world was as green and alive as this forest. The trees stretched as far as the eye could see, and everywhere you went, you would find crystals glittering like stars. Oh, it was so beautiful. It was like we lived in a treasure chest until, that is, they invented those machines. The scientist called Larkesius developed technology to harness the power of the crystals. The technology spread like wildfire, and he became famous around the world. The technology made everyone rich. Villages grew into towns. Towns grew into magnificent cities. The crystals that supported our civilization were consumed one by one. We cut down the forest and dug into the earth, searching for the crystals we'd grown addicted to. As our lives became easier, our land became more barren. The devastation spread. Even without the catastrophe, the crystals would have run out eventually. The civilization was bound to collapse sooner or later. But the devastation was forever. The land still hasn't recovered. You've seen it, rocky wastelands and desert everywhere, filled with the ruins of the ancient civilization. Except, of course, for this forest here, and only here did nature recover. But why? I think it's because of the crystal that was here, the last remaining crystal in the world. You see, I always thought that the forest protected the crystal all these centuries, but now I realize that it was the other way around. Ah, Snivy, you've come a long way, my lad. But ye know, when that crystal core appeared, and when we met ye for the first time, I suspected it would come to this in the end. Ye must realize the truth now, eh? We villagers come from the distant time when the crystals disappeared, and the ancient civilization collapsed. The appearance of the crystal core and the tragedy that befell us all happened 2,000 years ago. We've been here like this ever since. But the centuries are finally coming to an end. Snivy, the crystal core chose ye. It has entrusted ye with a great task. Look at this ruined village. 2,000 years have passed, but it hasn't changed a bit since that day. It's the same for us, no longer living, but still existing, somehow in this forest. But like a page torn from the history books, left floating in limbo. But now the crystal core has gone. The forest will swallow the village at last. We were living on time borrowed from the crystal core, but its power is gone now. It's alright, there's no forever in the natural world. Except for those two, of course. Charlotta and Larkesius are both immortal. That isn't natural. But there's a difference between them. Larkesius wanted immortality because he was blinded by the glories of the ancient age. Charlotta became immortal through no fault of her own. Immortality was thrust upon her. You see, Snivy, I believe there's a reason the crystal core made Charlotta that way, the way she is. When you find out that reason, I do believe you'll know the answers to everything. Well, it's like this. That is to say, how do you say it? Oh, hey, Snivy, it's good to see you again. What's with the long face? While the crystal core showed you how you were abandoned in the woods? Kid, it doesn't matter where you came from or how you got here. Sure, whoever left you there was pretty darn selfish to say the least. But if it wasn't for them, you would never have been born, would you? So I guess you should be grateful. Even if they were the worst parents in the world, I mean, what they did was unforgivable. Still, water under the bridge, huh? Just be grateful you're alive. Forget the deadbeats and get on with it. That's my philosophy anyway. To Trat, you shouldn't say such awful things about his parents. Maybe it's all true, but Snivy must be feeling mighty sensitive right now. Mom? Since when am I your mother? The only people around here who are allowed to call me Mom are Little Ols and Snivy here. Isn't that right, Snivy? You know I love you like my own. Maybe you think you're Snivy's mother or not, but if you ask him, he'll tell you something quite different. I love Snivy just as much as I love my precious boy Felple. Yeah, if you see, honey, everyone loves Snivy. But wait up a sec. If Snivy calls you Mum, then that makes me your Dad. Oh boy, I like the sound of that. Oh, put a sock in it, you silly old goat. That's right, you put a sock in it. I don't want my Snivy getting all confused. Oh dear, would you listen to me? I'm not usually like this at all. It's just that I love you so much, I can't help myself. Of course you'd rather be with your dad, wouldn't you, huh? Oh, how we've grown. When I first saw you, I could fit all of you in the palm of my hand. Gosh. Remember when I tossed you in the air? Want to do it again? I'll even rub my mustache on your cheek. Thanks, but no thanks. No way. I'd rather put my head in a beehive. Why don't you ever shave? Thanks, but no thanks. Oh, it's okay. You don't have to be shy. I don't mind, really. This is harassment. This is harassment. Touch me and I'll sue you. I'll sick my dog on you. I'm going to get a restraining order. This is harassment. What a little joker you are, but you can't fool me. I remember when you were little, you loved playing with Uncle Batchin. Why you laughed so hard you cried? That's because he was crying, you nitwit. Whoa, why are you guys stacked up like that in the background? Whatever. Shall we just kill him? Oh wait, he's already dead. Maybe we could just make him wish he was dead. Is it true, Snivy? You really didn't like the mustache tickling thing? Oh dear, would you listen to me? I'm not usually like this at all. Yep. I remember when I used to. I remember when I used to change his diapers. Charlotta would get so flustered. I can't believe our little bedwetter has grown into such a fine young man. The multiple choice dialogue, I love that. Alright, let's go find everybody else. Hello, Snivy. Guess you know now that I'm way older than you. So I expect to be treated with the respect, admiration, and awe that I deserve. You can call me Master. You have got to be kidding. You call me Master? Ha! Oh, you are too funny. It's the rule. It's the rule. The older you are, the more important you are, right? You important? Oh, don't you listen to him, Snivy. We're already dead. Time stopped for us long ago. But Snivy, you're different. You'll never stop growing. You spoiled it. I was totally going to be the boss. Oh, poop. Time stopped for us long ago. Time stopped for us long ago. But Snivy, you're different. You'll never stop growing. Hello, Snivy. You've had quite the adventure, haven't you? I heard that the crystal core got sucked up right into you. Do you feel okay? Does it hurt? I feel stronger than ever. Meh, it feels about the same. I feel stronger than ever. Really? Well, you be careful. That's some serious power you've got inside you now. Snivy's going to be fine. That crystal core exists especially for him. It's made to protect him. It'll never hurt Snivy ever. It's a perfect match. Yeah, I know. It's just that, Leon, it's bad enough you're always fussing about Arrow without you babying Snivy as well. I'm not babying anyone. Jeez. My throat. Too much talking. Heh, you haven't changed a bit since you were alive. Listen, Snivy, we may not be alive anymore, but you are. Oh, but you are. One day you'll cross over into our world, but it's a one-way trip. Once you're over here, there's no going back. You know when you wake up in the morning to smell the forest, and the whole world seems clean and new. You know how good You know how good a hot meal tastes when you're really, really hungry on a cold winter's day. My throat. I need some water. Water. I need more water. You know how nice it feels to run with the wind, your heart pounding, the breeze in your hair. You know how it feels to have your hair washed, to be hugged, to be loved. You can feel all those things because you're alive. It's a gift like no other. Snivy, you have to live now while you still can. You have to live life to its fullest and get the very most out of it you can. Treat your time alive if it's the only chance you'll ever get. And when it's over, you'll look back and be able to say to yourself, now that was a good life. Then when we meet again in this world, you can tell us all about it. Our lives ended too early. It's up to you to tell us how the rest of it goes. You still have a future, Snivy. You have to live. You have to live for all of us. Your joy will be our joy. Snivy, you're always spacing out. We never know when you'll wander into trouble. Look, you be careful, okay? Unlike us, you're still among the living. If you ever feel sick or not right, don't just ignore it. You tell someone right away. Do you hear? My throat. My throat. My throat. I'm sorry. I never meant to lie to you. You never lied to me. You didn't tell a single lie to me. You just didn't tell me anything about all this. That's not really a lie. All I wanted was to look after you until you were old enough to leave the village and make your own life. After the coming of age ceremony, I thought that day had finally come, but then all this happened. You see, around here, death isn't an ending. It's more like a transformation. The villagers used the power of the crystal core to maintain their appearance so we could raise you. But when it disappeared, everyone returned to their real form. You see, they didn't disappear or go away. Everyone was still here beside you. People have this habit of only believing in what they can see. They fear things they don't understand. Yet when those same things help them, they praise them as miracles. But the crystal core is inside you now, and you can only see the truth. The real miracle is that in this wide, wide world, millions of years old, you are standing here at this moment. We were given life, and we were given each other. If that isn't a miracle, I don't know what is. You're not alone. Never forget how lucky you are to be a part of a world so full of light. The crystal core appeared so suddenly that day. Who knows why you're the one who ended up with it? But I know one thing for sure. I have a role to play. I've often cursed the day that I became immortal, but now I believed I lived all those years just so I could be here today. A long time ago, the crystals disappeared from the world. Arceus identified the cause of the disappearance in a shock wave that came from the future. He built that tower so he could stop the event. It took him centuries and centuries. And now it's finally appeared. That means the event he predicted is about to happen. If he can stop it, then the catastrophe of the past will never occur. His goal is to stop this future from ever happening. But I won't let him get away with it. I have to stop him to save this world. The event will be powerful enough to change the ancient past. I don't know what it could be, but I do know that it's going to happen right where he built that tower. Which means we have to go there. To save our present, we have to make sure that whatever must happen happens. I wonder why. I've lived hundreds and hundreds of years. Why did you come into my life now? I was miserable for centuries before I found you. I was more than anything that you didn't have to be a part of this. All we ever wanted to do was protect you. But we have to face the real world now. The crystal core chose you. Everything begins and ends with the crystal core. I want you to come with me to the tower. You're old enough now for any challenge. To get to the tower, we'll have to use the bridge that he built. But I don't see how we can make something that huge move by ourselves. You had an artifact to help you find the crystal core fragments, right? Well, it's a tool that can transform crystals into energy to activate machinery. But we're going to need a lot of crystals, and that little thing on its own can't handle the energy. But with a few certain attachments, it should be able to do the job. So let's go find them. Hey, don't look so worried. As long as I'm around, we'll have all the crystals we'll ever need. Actually, now that you have the crystal core inside you, I bet you have the same ability. You can see dead people. That means you have at least some of its power. But let me handle the crystal generating duties for now, okay? I've got a bit more experience here than you. Are you ready for the journey? If you're all set, just let me know. Wait for me a bit, okay? Okay, no problem. Listen. While you're getting ready, why don't you go and talk to everyone? The first time I saw you, you were so cute. Yeah, I talked to everybody already. Go to the world map. Road map? What's that? It sounds useful, but I haven't seen one around here. Although now that you mention it, this is the first time you and I'll be leaving the village together. Shall we go then? My voice, my throat, too much talking. Have you guys ever had the feeling that your throat hurts talking too much? I get that a lot. My throat, it hurts. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed today's parts of Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Echoes of Time. Still my favorite Final Fantasy game. I love this story. I only have charge 1. I need charge 2. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoy. I'll see you guys in the next part. This is Snivy Cynical signing out. Peace everybody.